Solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs! Here we are once again in the world of Spirit Island, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you how stupid strong this spirit is, and how, it bothers me, and, it's just too strong, and I wish it was a little more balanced, and more of a challenge, and then I'm going to lose horribly, because this is what happens when Greg tries to gas up a spirit strength the way that Greg does. So, most notably in lore versus level 6 Russia, and then in last playthrough, dances up earthquakes against level 6 England, when I smushed level 6 England off camera, proceeded to get trounced on camera, and then I promise you, I played again that night, and I smushed level 6 England again. So there was something about me and live streams, and strong matchups that just do not go well. So this is going to be the case today. Now, unlike dances with up earthquakes, I have not tried this off camera at all. I played Ember Eyed Behemoth once that's it. So once, and I played it very terribly, and I realized I was playing it terribly as the game was progressing, and I was like, oh my god, this spirit is bonkers. Yeah, but very fun. I love the art. My uncle used to call me Turtle when I was a kid because I was round and slow, but I don't know, man. I question the playtesting prowess of one Eric Royce and company. I really do, and I hate being Mr. Negativity about that. I'm trying to. There is the right spirit for someone. This is not the right spirit for me. I will just kind of put that out there. There have been some really good comments on the Darkness video and Dances Up Earthquakes video, and this. There's a lot of things I like about Nature Incarnate. It just doesn't hit for me the way Jagged Earth did, where I was like, oh my gosh, I love everything about this expansion. This expansion, I like Darkness, I like Wounded Waters, I like Habsburg Mining, I like some of the new Blight cards, I like all of it. I could have done without it. And I do think it's because some of these spirits are so ridiculous. And honestly, it almost feels like the Horizon spirits. Like, yay, I have new low complexity spirits I can give to friends when I'm doing a teaching game, and I can still play harder challenges for me. But those spirits are not spirits I will really ever turn to for my own enjoyment of how to play this game. So, Sagitt, why no play Mage's Knight instead? Because Maze Knight just doesn't produce enough new content. Except anyway, if we can sneak in a bit of chat around the new Mage Knight expansion, I will stick around a bit. Yeah, we can sneak it in for sure. Fear, I should have reached out to you, man. I saw your name, and you're living through it. Whatever anyone's politics are, I think compassion for everybody in the midst of the stress of some of the global situations we're going through. So I hope you're doing well, man. It's really good to see your name for sure. Again, sorry, I should have reached out to you on Patreon. So thanks for taking a second to stop in the chat here. Oh, wow, this is late for me. Glad to see Spirit Island back on the menu. I will also have to skip the live show with this one and catch up later on like I did with the last two spirits. Happy gaming, stomp those white plastics. And Daniel Gilligan. Oh, baby, England 6 back to back. We're really doing it now. And we get Stompy Boy. Yeah, I have a feeling getting stomped on boy is going to be me, because that's just how that is how this goes. Let me do story time with Greg first. We'll do some setup, and then we'll go through some stuff, and it'll be super exciting. So, moderate complexity, summary powers, offense, and then a little bit of everything else. And the story goes, amidst the Bagir jungles, Bagir, not Bagir. Bagir would be weird. Bagir makes a lot more sense. You can see I've really done like a dry run of this off camera, right? The boggier jungles, one might find a tree covered hill, somewhat rocky, rising upwards from the dank and the damp. One might climb it to scout out the lay of the land or camp there for a respite from the water snakes and warm muck below. But do not settle there, nor quarry that stone, for the hill is a spirit, immense and incarnate, and might be a living scale of the great serpent, or a dream given waking form, or a spirit wrapped around the great curse, enfolding it and containing it from spilling outwards. If you bother it, fire will kindle in its eyes, and it will rise and smash its way across the landscape. Put your presence and the incarnate in the highest numbered wetland on your starting board that is adjacent to any jungle. You start with 4 unique powers and 0 energy. All right, put your 2 presents in the highest one that is adjacent to any jungle. So let's pick out my starting board to figure this out. Boop, boop, boop. I'm on board D. That's right. Because one sure way to make me lose on camera is to make me randomly end up on board D, which is fine. I did beat England 6 with board D off camera uh, last week. So this is how this goes. All right, 2 presents in the highest numbered wetland adjacent to any jungle, which is land number 3. And here is my incarnate. My incarnate, before it is empowered, it can be a singular presence or a singular presence. So I think we'll treat it as a singular presence. And the rest of it, playstyle slowly but consistently stomps, slowly, not so slowly, but consistently stomps its incarnate around the island, smashing invaders. Tahan can keep clear unless it really gets going. Benefits from spread out sacred sites, both for targeting powers and for moving its incarna long distances. Adding presence at its incarna, which can count as a presence, can make it easier to get presence into new lands, particularly non-jungles. All right, that's that. We'll go through the rest of this in a bit. Let me move out this area so I can shuffle some cards. All right, we got 5 presents in the field pool. Fear pool. Speaking is remains hard for me, and the fear pool is 5. Why? Because of level 6 England. That's why. All right, glad I explained it. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And put this here. I think when I played as Behemoth, it was me. My friend Steve was playing as somebody. I can't remember who he played as. I mean, he played with like a relatively new player who played as Volcano. And Pratt, it was like we played like a level 4 Sweden maybe, and we smashed it pretty damn good. So I'm going to shuffle the fear cards. Level 6 England. We have a fear deck of 4/5/4. I do want to be clear, like it's not. I like the idea of a spirit that moves around the island stomping. It's just a little easy to do in a way that I find not great. It's kind of the same thing with Dances Up Earthquakes. I like the idea of multiple character cards in play, but the way you can fairly easily get to 5 card plays a turn with 3 more that are kind of impending and coming in, like you can get there like 5 rounds in almost every game if you're playing it right. Like it's just kind of broken. It's pretty sick. So it is what it is. All right, I played a game of, so I introduced somebody else to the game on Sunday, and we because we have so many good low complexity strong spirits now, I'm just like, all right, like we just did level 6 France. She's a gamer, her husband's a big time gamer. He's played Spirit Island a couple of times, so he played Devouring Teeth, she played River, and I played Wildfire against level 6 France, and that was super fun. We got to the point where we were able to get 9 blight on the France card, get that back onto the blighted island card, and that once we were able to do that, we were good to go. But it was a little scary for a bit there. But it's like, all right, we just need 1 more blight to come off the island, so we can deal with the slow healing ecosystem. But that was super fun. Never really got close to losing because of running out of towns. it was pretty wild. So I mean, devouring teeth underfoot is just so damn strong. Um, and River, is River. The new player realized quick how important those elemental thresholds were, and I was really starting to make that work for us. So that was cool. Do do do. This goes here. So we have 5 cards, level 2 divider, 4 cards. So 4 cards, level 3 divider, 5 cards, level 2 divider, and then 4 cards. So the fear deck is 13 cards deep. That is good. We'll shuffle up the events. Man, you all quiet. Come to like 5 comments, and now no one's talking to me. I feel lonely. Help. What's going on? But yeah, level D will be interesting, or board D will be interesting. Stompy, stompy face. He's a giant angry turtle who will stomp your face off. That's right. I'm gonna come out with the spirit on the soundtrack. Just wait, guys. Just wait. Guys and girls, we're gonna have solo playthrough soundtrack from Greg. Alright, well, this event deck up here. We'll make the invader deck while we're at it. Need to get rid of a level 3 card. Bam, or stage 3 card. That's out of the game. Again, this is the art from Horizons of Spirit Island. For them, some of those are goes, why does your invader deck look different? Because it's from a different product, people. That's how that works. Thanks again to Greater Than Games, or now Flat River Group, for sending me a review copy of Horizons of Spirit Island, as well as Premium Token Pack 2. And I think that's all they got me a review copy of. That sounds about right. And then thanks again to Fold the Space for 2 review copies of the Spirit Island inserts. They are awesome. Highly recommend it. And a lot. I feel bad for everyone who bought that wooden crate from what was it, Broken Token, that is now not able to fit everything that we have for the game. So that's unfortunate for them. I do get everything, including, I don't have the thin boards, I have the original thick boards. I do get everything to fit in 2 boxes, and that makes me happy. All right, things that make Greg happy. Getting all of Spirit Island into 2 boxes. Shuffling up the major powers. I am playing as the Ember color. It seemed like something you probably have to do. So many colors to choose from now. It's crazy. Super crazy. Go through England's escalations. Remember, additional loss condition. If 7 or more towns or cities are ever in a single land, the invaders win. That is how I lost in the games I lost when I played as Dances Up Earthquakes. So I do need to be a little bit more vigilant about that. Stage 2 escalation. You're going to build on in the land with the most cities and towns. Level 1, invader build actions affect lands without invaders if they are adjacent to at least 2 towns or cities before the build actions. Criminals and malcontents. We're going to have an additional city and town on our board. Levels 3 and 4 refer to the high immigration tile, which is already in place. Level 5, the towns and cities all have +1 health. And then level 6, during setup, we have 1 additional fear in the fear pool per spirit, and then, or per board, and then during any invader phase where you resolve no fear cards, you carry out the high immigration build 2 times. How many times? 2 times. Not just once, but twice. This will go up here, and kind of move these out of the way over here. Ember Eyed Behemoth special rules. The Behemoth rises. You have an Incarna. Once per turn during the spirit phase. During the spirit fast or slow phase, you may either push your Incarna or you may add or move your Incarna to any of your sacred sites on the island. Unrelenting strides. On any turn that you don't use your innate powers, you may use the Behemoth Rises 1 additional time. So if we don't use Smash, Stomp, and Flatten, which is our innate power, then we can move our Incarna twice, or we can add it and then move it. I mean, yeah, whatever. And so we're either pushing it or we're just moving it. So we're totally teleporting it to a place that has a sacred site of ours. Um, when you use an innate power, cover this spirit. And I don't know why. I guess there are probably there must be a an aspect for Behemoth, because I just feel like the way this is worded doesn't make sense if there's not. But when you use an innate power, I cover the special rule with a reminder marker. When you use a special rule, cover your innate power. I don't know, man. That why would I cover my innate power? Because I can still use my innate power, so I don't know why I would cover my innate power if I something that some of that's just silly to me. All right, little paternalistic and doesn't make sense. Anyway, growth. Pick one. So we can reclaim our cards and gain a power card. We can um, add a presence to a jungle or a land with our presence. So we can either make a make a sacred site, or add a presence to a jungle. It is still interesting that we start in wetlands, but we can add a presence to the jungle immediately, which is fine. Because we're thematically coming out of the muck, and we can add a presence at range 0, so we get 2 presence on the island with growth option B. Can be very strong. Growth option C is gain a power card, add a presence 1 away from where you have presence, gain 3 energy, and then discard a power card with fire. I will almost never do that, I promise you. The once per game growth option is reclaim all cards with fire. Empower Incarna, move in Incarna. Now, one of the reasons, like, these super strong spirits, I'm sure there's like somebody who's figured out the optimal strategy of these growth options, and I don't really read recommended openings because I just, again, there are some things you can't unsee. It's one of the reasons that Keeper kind of got ruined for me, because his opening is just bananas, like when you know how to play the optimal strategy. So that's just me. But if you really want to know, like, you go on BGG, you go on, like, I don't know, there are people who spend a lot more time really reading up on openings and how to play every spirit the precise optimal way. Behemoth's so damn strong, like, I don't think it's gonna matter, but we'll find out. But and if it does matter, see previous spoiler alert where I told you exactly what was going to happen today, and that I have essentially 0 chance of winning this matchup. This is going to go here, and sorry, so many cards now. Come on, there we go. Get down there. So our presence tracks are we have 0 energy. Oh yeah, so once per game we reclaim all cards with fire. We empower our Incarnate, which means we'll flip it on this side that has the border, and then we can move the Incarnate. All right, presence 0, and then 1 energy, 2 energy, and a fire element, 3 energy, an earth element, 4 energy, and a plant element, and then 5 energy and a fire element. So top track, pretty element rich, and you get a lot of energy there for sure. And then we have the bottom track is 1 card play, 2 card play, 2 card play, 3 card play, fire element, 4 card play. Innate power is smash, stomp, and flatten. We have to target our land with our Incarna. If the Incarna is empowered, you may repeat this power once each turn. You may take other actions before repeating, including the Behemoth Rises. All of that is broken. So, I gotta stop. I can't. It's ridiculous. All right. 2 fire and a earth gives 2 damage. If you have 3 fire, a earth, and a plant, you do 1 additional damage and then push it to Han. 4 fire, 2 earth, and a damage, and a plant, 1 fear and an additional damage, and then 5 fire, 2 earth, and 2 plants, 2 damage, 2 additional damage. So total is 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 6, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and then 2 damage to Dahan. When it's your own power, remember, you can do damage to Dahan, and you could disperse it inefficiently. So that's a mandated push. So if there are only 2 Dahan in the place, you would have to push 1 out, and you would have to kill the other Dahan. If there are 3 Dahan, you would have to push 1, and then you could, assuming full health on both of the remaining Dahan, you could do 1 damage to each of the remaining Dahan in that land. So things to think about, kids. That is there. I will put reminder tokens on here. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. I'll figure it out as I go. We have 6 Dahan on our island here. So we have 2 Sands Dahan in land 7, a Mountain Dahan in land 5, a 2 Wetland Dahan here in land 1, and a Dahan in land 2. I have a feeling that I'm not seeing some chat. Nope, that's it. What is going on? All right, I'm good. Just making sure. We have a disease in land 2. We're going to have a beast in the lowest number land without a pre-printed setup icon, which happens to be land 3 as well. We're going to have a town in land 1 and town in land 7. Land 1 is part of the special rules. It is the criminals and malcontents. And then we're going to have 2 cities on the board, 1 in land 2, and then the 1 in land 1. I'm sorry, this town's in land 2, I think. Let me check. Yep, the town in land 2 is from criminals and malcontents. The city in land 1 is from criminals and malcontents. So that is that. We also have our starting blight in land 5. Boop. We're going to do our initial explorers, the final step of setup. And that is explore into mountains. We're getting 1 explorer into 5, 1 explorer into 8. Could have been better, could have been worse. That's fine. Invader cards, advance, and here we go. Now, what are my starting powers? So, our unique powers are Terrifying Rampage, Blazing Intervention, Exaltation of Grasping Roots, and Surging Lahar. All of them have fire. Go figure. Terrifying Rampage. By the way, I'm assuming that this is a cost to do growth option C, like it is for Downpour. So if you don't have a card you can discard, I'm assuming you can't do that growth option. But I could be wrong about that, but I'm assuming that's the way Downpour played. I'm surprised they don't make that a little bit clearer on both Downpour's board and Behemoth's board. But Terrifying Rampage has a moon, a fire, and an earth. 1 fear, 2 invaders don't participate in Ravage. Choosing invaders when ravaging, they don't deal damage or take counterattack damage. Push 3 the Hun. Blazing Intimidation, also a fast power, costs 2 energy, whereas Terrifying Rampage only costs 1. It has a fire, a plant, and an animal. 1 fear, push 2 explorers or towns to a land without your Incarna. Exaltation of Grasping Roots. It has a moon, a fire, an earth, and a plant. It costs 0 power. It's a slow power. You could target another spirit. In this game, obviously, we can target ourselves. Target spirit may add 1 wilds to one of their lands. You may do likewise. Essentially, we could do that twice because we would be both a target spirit and we are ourselves. Shocker. Surging Lahar is cost 2 energy. It is a slow power. It has a fire, a water, and an earth symbol. It's a range 1 from a sacred site. Remember that your Incarna can be half of a sacred site, and then when it's powered, it is a full-blown sacred site. Look at that. That it does 2 damage if your presence is if your presence is present. Add a Badlands. Badlands can be really important in dealing with the awesomeness that is England. Sacred site, move 2, 1, blah, blah, blah. So, how do we want to do this, kids? 1, 2. I'm probably just going to get 4 energy off the board. 4 presence off the board, and then I'll just reclaim on turn 3. That just feels like what I want to do, because I can play all 4 of these cards. Nope, would I be able to play all 4 of these cards? If I get 1 energy and a 3 energy, I'd be 1 short. I could do that. That's one way to play all 4 of these cards. Get a card without a fire. Move Incarna. Yeah, I'll let that blight. I'm not that worried about that. 2 damage in 1 land with my Incarna. Push my Incarna. Do it twice if I don't do my innate. fine. Remember, I could just move. Stupid. I could just teleport to a sacred site. Also interesting. Add a presence. Push Incarnate, do 2 damage. Alright, we're going to do 2 growth options. We're going to do growth options B. We're adding a presence to a jungle. Within range 3, I'm adding another presence there. I'm getting 2 energy from the presence track. Gives me a fire as well. I haven't done this yet. I'll probably hold off on that. Wilds are... That's right, they have 2 health. Alright, I'll play Surging Lahar as my 1 card play. That costs 2. Elements I want to keep track of. I want to keep track of... So let's have this off-centered a little bit. I don't like that. Let me move these. That, I think, everything's very zoomed in. Can someone tell me if this is on? Like, it's just really weird to be talking to this. Like, some games I expect it. I don't expect this. I'm all insecure, guys. Hold me. 9 concurrent viewers. All right, 9 people are here, apparently. So, we're good. I just feel like my chat's not working. But maybe it is. I don't know. So this is going to go here. And I'm going to keep track of fire, earth, and plant. Hello, Steve. What's up? To the rescue. This is things oddly quiet. All right, let's make this happen. We are going to not move my Incarnate yet because I don't feel like it. I probably know where I'm going with it, but we'll figure that out when we get there. We're going to go to Blighted Island effect. There is none. We're going to do a vent card. We're just flipping this over and not carrying it out. It would have been years of Little Lane. You're alive. Thanks, Tony. We are going to now carry out the Invader steps. We're building a town in Land 5. We're building a town in Land 8. That's fine. We are going to carry out an explore step. We're exploring into wetlands. So 1 and 2. And then the invader cards are going to advance. So I'm going to move I'm pushing my Incarnate into land 2. And now that I have presence there, I'm going to I still have stomp, smash, stomp, and flatten. So range 1 of where I have a sacred site, because I still have a sacred site in 5. I'm going to do 2 damage, and then if my presence is there, I'm going to add a bat. Ooh, that's interesting. I want to kill that city. That probably makes some sense. Sure. I'm going to do 2 damage. Get that down to 2 health because it's England. Everything has +1 health. And then my presence is there, so I'm going to add a Badlands. And then I'm going to stop, smash, stomp, and flatten. I'm going to do 2 more damage, which is 3 damage, which kills this city and does 1 damage to that town. That town has 2 health left, but that is 2 fear. Most excellent. Was that optimal? I don't know, but it felt good. Let's kill a city on turn one, see what happens. We're now going to go to growth. So I'm going to go back there. I'm going to get more presents out on the board. Why? Because I can. It's fun. We are going to um, add these two presents here. So I'm going to get 3 energy on turn 2 because that seems like a fun idea. And we're going to. Oh, I should have like tracked my elements for y'all. For you're all watching at home, I had 2 fire and I had 1 earth. That's why I had the first level of Smash, Stomp, and Flatten. All right, and remember, I did push the Behemoth Rises, and I used my innate, which is why I couldn't push it twice. All right, I'm going to add a presence. I'm going to add another presence to the land too. And I could add a presence to a jungle. I'll add another presence here. I can add a presence to a jungle or a place where I have presence, so I might as well just add them both here. Why the heck not? This town heals, by the way. I got 3 energy from the presence track. I'm going to be able to play 2 power cards. I'm going to play Blazing Intimidation. And then both of these give me a fire and wetland symbol. I could just push him out of there because of course I can. I don't know of how great Wilds is against England because you still have the thing still building if it's adjacent to 2. But I guess I know it's going to be. There's a 50% chance it's going to be jungles. Uh, that's just going to blight. I kind of had that blighting in my head before anything happened. Hopefully the fear deck will let me get rid of this dude or the invader deck or the event card. I don't. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to get a fear card this turn. I probably should get this fear out because I want to make sure that I don't have the double high immigration. And again, I don't think wilds are that great against this spirit. Oh, now I could do 3 damage and push it to hunt. Of course I can. This is really stupid. All right, so we have 3 fire, 1 and I assure you I am playing the spirit poorly, but it's fun anyway. So I have 2 fire on my cards, 1 earth from my cards. I have a fire there, that's why I have 3 fire, and I have 1 plant from my cards. Watch Greg play badly, and it doesn't matter. All right. Well, invaders don't participate in Ravage. I mean, that's crazy. 3 damage. Nah. I was thinking I could do some crazy things there, but it's not meant to be. I'm going to get these cards back next turn because I'm going to empower my card next turn so I can stomp, move, whatever. And then I could start gaining a power card and energy and all of it. Oh, I can stomp. Yeah, I can smash stomp my flatten twice if I'm empowered. So I'll do that next turn, and it will be super fun. Alrighty then, we are going to generate a fear off the top. We're gonna push. Yeah. These 2 to land without my Incarnate. Oh, I could do it this way. This probably makes more sense. I'm going to push this guy to a land without... Oh, my Incarnate is there. Why? I'll push it here. It's not going to build there because there's only just 1 building now. And then I'm going to do one fear here, and I'm going to say these two guys don't participate in Ravage. They're so confused by whatever this giant turtle thing is doing. Push 3 to Han. I have to do as much of that as possible. I'll just push this 1 to Han. Yeesh. Here, maybe that will help get rid of that Explorer at some point before it does anything. Most excellent. All right, we are going to we already did the element check, so I have the second level of Smash, Stomp, and Flatten. We are still not empowered, so I can only do that once. And I still have my Behemoth Rises ability, which I can do at any point. When can I do it? Whenever the heck I want. So, no Blighted Island card effect. We're going to do our event card. The event card is Terror level 1. On each board, add a Explorer to a land without an invaders or Dahan. The only land I can that does not have, there's 2 lands that don't have invaders or Dahan. It's 3 and it's 6. Each beast is going to destroy an explorer, so I will add 1 here, because why not? That's super fun. There are no Dahan there. There are no invaders there. Alright. Prey on the Unwary. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. That was super useful. And then Rouse the Spirits. Each spirit with 3 Dahan on its lands. I have 1. So that's not... I could use slow power now. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Awesome. We now go to the Invader Steps. These guys are ravaging. Because, you know, there was a terrifying rampage near them, and they just couldn't bring themselves to go out and do anything to the land anymore. But those guys do ravage out there. We added the blight to land 8. We're going to build now. We don't build in 3 because there are not 2 adjacent towns or cities in adjacent lands. We are going to get a town in land 1. And then we're going to explore. We're exploring into jungles. We do have a source here and a source here. Invader cards advance. I'm going to it's not building, so I really don't care about doing too much there now. All right, I'm going to do the Behemoth Rises, where you're going to push him over here. And then he's going to do 3 damage there, which is enough to kill this town. That's fear. That's a fear card. And I push it to Han. I have to do it, which is fine. I will just push this to Han here. Most excellent. Yeah, it will give me some options next turn for sure. Yeah, I'm going to be able to move my Incarnate with that growth option, which I'm going to do now. Great. These go away. I'm going to do once per game. This, I'm going to reclaim all cards with fire, so I get all my cards back. I'm empowering my Incarnate, then I get to move my Incarnate. Well, isn't that exciting? I will move my Incarnate here. I have 2 card plays. I get 3 energy. We're going to play something pretty similar to what I just played. So, Terrifying Rampage, looking good. And I really like Badlands against... Nope, we'll do this again. They're both good. What's about the build? That is adjacent to 2, so I don't know how I stop that build. But I do want to get 3 damage on the board here. I genuinely think I do another 2 next turn, then reclaim and start gaining power cards. So, um, yeah, high immigration build. Oh, I could push that out to make it only make a town. That's probably smart. Because that's going to build the city. You may repeat this power. Really silly. Of course we can. All right, we'll do Blazing Intimidation. So same 2 cards I played last turn. We're going to generate a fear. These 2 guys don't participate in Ravage. Push 3 to Han. I only have 1 to push. I'll push it here. Yeah. 1 fear. Push this to a land without my presence. Oh, without my Incarnate. Yeah, let me push both of those up there because my card is gonna. I'll push this here, so the 2 structures are the ones that aren't participating. The Explorer will, but I'll push this Explorer here because why not? I have the same elements, so I have level 2 of this, and I still have Behemoth Rises, and I can do Stompy McStompersim stuff twice because, of course, I can. We're going to do the event card. Terra level 1. During the Explore step, invaders explore +1 different distance. That's not going to have much of an effect in this game because there are structures everywhere. On each board, choose a land with disease, and that land 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. 2 damage to invaders becomes 3 damage. 2 damage to Dahan becomes 3 damage. That's a fear because the town was destroyed. And then 1 fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumbers cities and towns. So that's 1 fear, 2 fear, 3 fear, 3 fear on the board, which, considering there's only 5 Dahan there, is pretty sick. So that's a 2nd fear card. And that will do. All right, we're going to do our fear cards. First fear card is, on each board, isolate 1 land. That's pleasant, so I'll prevent building there. Why not? And second is, each player adds a strife in a land with Dahan. I will add a strife to interesting. I'll add a strife here because that will help me deal with some things for sure. Alrighty then. Invader steps. We're doing a high immigration build. We're only doing it once because we did carry out a fear card, so nothing to build here, and we've negated all adjacencies because of the isolation. We're going to put a city in land 8. Ravaging. They're not participating in Ravage. The 1 damage from the Explorer is not enough to do any blight to the land, so that's done. And then we are building in jungles. The disease comes off land 2. We're adding a town to land 6. we're exploring. Maybe that's not gonna work. Maybe adding the strife there was dumb. I'll add the strife here. I was thinking I would go to the wetlands and I would do some things, but that doesn't make any sense. So we'll just make it happen this way. Yeah, I like it. Exploring coast. It's a second card. I'm sorry, our level 2 card. So immediately we're going to build in the land with the most cities and towns. I will build in this mountains. So there's 3 structures there. Then we are going to explore into sands. 1 explorer, 2 explorers. Alrighty then. We are going to advance the invader cards. Hmm. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. What are these guys? 2 damage. I like that. 2 damage. Yeah, I might as well kill it. I don't really have much of a choice. So I'm going to do 2 damage to this guy here. Push it to Han. I'll push this to Han here. And then I'm going to use the Behemoth Rises. We're going to move it to where I have a sacred site. And then we're going to do 3 damage there and kill this town. That's a fear card. So we're looking at double build and the high immigration, which would not affect this because there are no towns or cities adjacent to it. Some ways, like blowing through that much fear, put me in a weird spot. So I might get 2 builds and land 1, which is fine if I'm basically clearing out the board from bottom to top. But obviously, coastal lands will come up, and that's gonna stop being so clean. But I'm okay with it. All right, I'm gonna do growth option B again. Just get 2 presents off. Eventually, I'll get power cards. I promise. Actually, don't even 4 damage, 1 fear, fire. Nah, I think I get to the players where I can play. Well, if I gain a power card, if I can play 3 cards, I gain a power card. I can do 3 card plays, gain a power card. Yeah, I still don't think wilds are going to be that important for me. I almost have enough energy to start doing majors. I'm going to reclaim cards next turn. This might be a good time to. I only need 1 plant. All right, I'll add a presence range 1. It'll get me a presence in here, which I think will be good. So I'll do growth option 3. I'm going to discard exaltation of grasping roots. I added my presence. I'm getting 3 energy. Gain 3 more energy. Almost guarantee get a major power next turn when I reclaim cards. We'll get a minor this turn. No fire. No fire. Fire and earth. Hello. And that. Alright, so fire and earth seems good. Really care what the rest of the card is. Or fire and plant seems good. Don't care what the rest of the card is. Because why would I? I guess 1, 2, 3 fire. 1, 2 earth. One's on my board now. And 1 plant from there. So that's a 1 energy cost. I can make it spend 2 energy to get 2 fear. Ooh. And do a damage. That's going to leave me 1 fear away, unfortunately. Do a damage in a non-wetland. This is no longer isolated. This heals. If I can generate a fear, that'd be nice. If I can generate a fear, that'd be nice. So I will risk it. I'll spend the extra energy to make this card fast. Oh, it's range 0. Push my Incarnate in there. That seems dumb. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in doing that fast. I'm just going to have the double build in 1. There's really nothing I can do about it. Oh, remember my sacred... It's funny. My Incarnate now counts as a sacred site aura presence. The art changed on it, so it hasn't been relevant yet, but it could matter in the future. All right, we'll just chill there. We're going to not make that fast. I like the elements, though, so we have 3, 2, and 1. If we have 4, 2, and 1, we can start getting a fear from that and an extra damage. All right. Smoling, hello. Those premium tokens look dope. Kind of envious. Why you have 5 fear tokens? Tony explained England at level 6 adds 1 fear token per player to the game. Tales of Troubadour always warms my cookies dropping in on Great Plains Spirit Island. Hello, warm cookies. All right, let's make this happen. So, Blighted Island effect, there is none. Event card is Terror level 1 still. For the rest of this turn, after an action destroys 1 or more towns or cities, add a town to an adjacent land. Oh, it's so horrendous. The resourceful populace. Virulence among close-packed homes. On each board, add a disease to the land with the most cities or towns. That will go into 7. That's helpful. And then offerings of story and blah blah. I do not have 3 among all my lands. Please stop asking. It's not great. Let me not forget this. So high immigration build carries out twice because I did not generate any fear cards. So we're getting 1 and 2. Ravaging here, only ravaging 1, not enough to damage the land. We are building in sands. So 1. Building in sands. So a town here and coastal lands. So no stage 2 escalation. We just get an explorer, and an explorer. And I was kind of thinking that might happen, which is why I did not use this. So I can target a non-wetlands. Oh, invader cards advance. So I'm getting 2 fear and destroying this explorer. It's a non-wetlands. With that 1 damage. I'm going to... Just not going to prevent a build. Wolf. Isolation power could be pretty important here. Yeah, I think I do the same thing here. So I'm one away from a sacred site. So I'm going to generate. I'm going to do 2 damage here. We're going to injure this city, so it has 2 health left. I don't have presence there. Hold on. I'm going to do Behemoth Rises. This is going to be bananas. Oh, I hate everything about this. Whenever you destroy a town or a city, add a town. Man, I wish I had Isolate, but I don't. So we're going to do Behemoth Rises. I'm going to move my Incarnate there. So that's done. And then I'm going to one away from a sacred site, but that is a sacred site now. I'm going to do 2 damage. It says 2 health left. We're adding a Badlands. And then I'm doing 3 damage, which becomes 4 damage, which I could do wipe out this and these 2 explorers. That's 2 fear, remainder 1, and then resourceful populace kicks in. I have to add a town to an adjacent land. I will add this town, yeah, into 8, and I will find a way to deal with that later. I do have to push a Dahan. I'll push this Dahan here. All right. I think that makes sense. Yep. So remember, it was 2 damage plus 1 damage plus 1 because of the Badlands. I wiped out everything but this town. This town now has a strife on it. So presumably, if that's the strife will reduce that to 0. So since there's no damage done, the Badlands does not add 1. And then when the Dahan retaliates, it will do 2 damage plus the 1 because of the Badlands, and it will kill that town. But having to add the town was interesting. Again, I'm probably going to go majors and try to deal with 7 and 8 in a big boppery kind of way. This is out. So we are going to growth option 1. I'm gaining a power card. I'm going to get 3 energy from the presence track. Now remember, I cannot do this anymore. This is almost like it's not even on my board ever again. I'm going to gain a major because we're going to need some majors. We're going low card plays and just trying to hit that innate and crush some dudes. So we have Storm Swath, 2 fear in both origin and target land, 1 damage to each invader. Then if I have 2 fire, 3 air, and 2 water, I get 1 plus fear. This power has +1 range in a land adjacent to both origin and target land, 1 damage to each invader. And lands where you did damage, destroy a town. I just don't even think I had that much air. I mean, Dry Wood is not a card I'm looking to hold on to here. Exaltation of the Incandescent Sky. Target spirit may play 1 power card by paying its cost. Make up to 2 of their powers fast this turn, and do 3 damage in one of their lands. You may do likewise. Whoa! So I can do that twice. In any 4 lands on the island, skip 1 invader action, 5 fear if you have 3 sun, 3 fire, 4 air, and 2 water. We transform into a murderous darkness. Target spirit may choose 1 of their sacred sites, and that land replace each of their presence with Badlands, and replace presence leaves the game. Push any number of those Badlands, 3 fear, 3 damage per Badlands replaced. And then if I have 3 moon, 2 fire, and 2 air, 1 damage in an adjacent land, and 1 damage in an adjacent land. But you remember, you're pushing the Badlands, so that's an interesting card. Again, I really do like Badlands. The other thing is we have Infinite Vitality, down at +4 health. Blight cannot be added when it would be added to target land. Instead, leave it on the Blight space. If you have 4 Earth, Dahan cannot be damaged or destroyed. Remove a Blight from target land or in an adjacent land. This is ravaging this turn. I can stop that. I don't necessarily want this to build. We do have a fear card. I'd like to get through 4 fear to get Terra level 2. Are playing losing a card now, so I'm gonna play 2 cards and then 3 cards. So I should essentially plan out my next 2 turns. in a way. Um, Thinking about how expensive these are is something I should also consider. Probably dropping you. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely dump Exaltation of Grasping Roots. It's preventing explorers. It's not that strong against England because they still build. I love Infant Vitality, but I really like Storm Swath as well. I think there's some nice combos I could play off there. I just want to have that 3 air. And if you're not hitting that elemental threshold, I do have to wonder about the utility of this. If I go with Infinite Vitality, it could really help in the coastal lands part of next turn. So tempted to do Transform. I already took that energy. I'm just not going to have the money for it. I will have the money for Infinite Vitality. I would have the money for Storm Swath, but 1 damage each invader just isn't gonna hit hard enough. Is not gonna hit hard enough. Blight cannot be added. I could get 4th next turn. How does that math work? Sure. Alright. We'll take this card. Don't want to overthink it on camera. We'll just do this. And our elements, we do have a plant. 1, 2. Well, I have 4. That sucks. I'm only gonna, it's fine. 3 fire is still fine. So I'll have 1, 2, 3 fire, 1 earth thanks to the board, and 2 plants. Gives me this. I still have Behemoth Rises. Do I want to make that fast? I can't target a wetland. I wanted the money to target fast and then play the cards I want to play next turn, so let's not do that. We are going to be very poor for a minute here, but that's fine. So I'm going to do 1 fear. I don't think I can prevent the builds I want to prevent. I don't want to allow a city to build there. That'd be really bad. Got an isolate power would have been super nice. I could do that. If I stop worrying about getting the blight off the board. All right, let me change this up. We're gonna do infinite vitality. And we're going to do The math of that's crazy. And we're gonna do Surging Lahar again. Which does change my math. I only have that, which I'm kind of okay with. And then next turn I will have level 3 of this. All right, so I only have level 1 of this. I'm doing this instead. So Infinite Vitality is going to be in effect here, which is 1 away from a Sacred Site. And then I'm putting 2 energy on Surging Lahar. That makes some sense. Element check. We have 2 fire, 1 and 1, which still is only enough for level 1. Most excellent. We are going to do the No Blighted Island effect. We're going to do event card for turn 5. What's going on? Most of these towns is land 8. Not for the event. Yeah, didn't I add it? I added a disease to the inland land with the most cities and towns, which was 8. So I don't know what else would have been for the event, dude. And you do the innate twice. I did the innate as many times as I could. Yeah. So I moved my innate with Behemoth Rises, and I did it twice. So let me know if I'm missing something, George. Event. Healthy Island accumulated devastation on each board during the first successful ravaged in one land. This invader phase increased the total damage ravaging invaders deal to each land, but not to Dahand, by the current invader stage, which is 2. Do this at most 1 ravage action per board. Interesting. Not to Dahan. That's fine. On each board, isolate a land with Beast. 1 fear if invaders are present. They are. And then on each board with 5 or more Dahan, that is mine. Add a Dahan to the land with the most Dahan. That is here. Yes, sorry. No worries, dude. That goes here. All right. We are doing the fear card. I'd love to get rid of this explorer. That would be super nice. Come on, fear card. Make it happen. The explorer does not affect coastal lands. Well, that would have been really helpful last turn, but I guess we'll deal with it this turn. Wolf. All right. So we are building here. We're building here. This was used. We're ravaging. Now, it's ravaging 4 here. My Dahan have 6 health each, so my Dahan are not destroyed, but I'm going to have it add plus whatever. So we are going to have a blight that goes here, because it's now ravaging 6. But I knew I was adding a blight there anyway, so that's not a big deal. My Dahans are... Oh, and blight cannot be added. Ha! That's fine. So it's still ravaging 6, but blight cannot be added because infinite vitality. The Dahan retaliate. We kill that town and those 2 explorers, because now that I have 3 Dahan there, they do 6 worth of damage, and there was 5 health worth of invaders. Most excellent. This can go away. We're ravaging here. The invaders are ravaging 0 total, so the Badlands does not add to that. And then the Dahan retaliates for 2. The Dahan retaliation for 2 becomes 3 because of the Badlands, kills this town. That's a fear. And the ravage step is done. The build step. We're unable to get rid of this dude, so we have that. Then we get a city here. and we get a town here. That's right. So there's 5 suckers there. There's going to be about to be a 6th because this flips over. That is by far the most cities and towns. So that gets a 6. So here we are again, me making bad decisions. And then we explore. We explore here. And we explore here. Yeah, I'm actually covered in 2 and 3, so 1 becomes the issue. I have to make sure I don't auto lose because that is what happens to me in these games. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do Behemoth Rises to move this sucker into here. I'm pushing it, and then we're carrying this out. Then I'm going to do this, Surging Lahar. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't carry that out twice. I think you're right. It didn't ultimately matter because I ended up killing that. But I think you're right. I only carried it out once. I think I did this and then this. And if I carried it out again, I would have just obviously killed that thing, but I would have had to push the Dahan. But I just left the Dahan there, so it is what it is. I'm not going to try to refigure it. But yeah, I think George is right. So George, especially don't be sorry because I just played bad. So now I'm doing 2 damage. I'm going to do 2 damage to a city. It's got 2 health left. And since my presence is there, I'm going to add a Badlands. And now I'm going to do the right thing and then carry out my innate twice. So I'm doing a total of 6 damage, which allows me to kill 2 cities. Because 4 health for each. That's 4 fear. So 1 down, remainder 3. And fear card. This is why I miss you, George, because you tell me when I'm doing bad things that are making life harder. But yeah, so ultimately I would have just had that town killed the last round, and that would have forced me to push that to Han. But it's May, you don't have to, so I just didn't. And, you know, if I want that to Han somewhere else later, then it's my own fault for sucking at rules. All right, this goes here. We are going to, yeah, it's because my head's like, it can't possibly be that strong. That's bonkers. But alas, it is. Look, remembering that I could easily lose this game, this is still England 6. But again, for a spirit I've played twice, this is pretty ridiculous. I am going to Alright, so we're not worried about double builds on high immigration. Because I do have a fear card. Oh, Explore does not affect coastal lands. And of course I pulled the card that doesn't have any coastal lands because every time. Why should it be different, kids? I'm going to add a presence here. And I'm going to add a presence in a jungle. Man, Transform would have been a really interesting card. No longer isolated. I feel like I'm about to lose a presence here. We're probably going Blighted Island. I don't see a way around that. Infinite Vitality for the win, though. That was pretty nice. I get 3 energy for my presence track. I'm playing 3 cards. That's all my money. Checking my elements. I have 4 fire. I have 1, 2 earth. And I have 1, 2 plants. That does give me the 3rd level of this. I'm going to... decisions. Okay. I have decisions to make. They are exciting. I mean, I could just let a city build in 4, and I don't hate it. Prevent the. Oh, I'm not even going to Blighted Island. I'm not going to Blighted Island. That makes things a little easier. All right, so 1 fear, pushing these 2 lands without my Incarna. 1 fear. These 2 guys are not participating. And we have everything else. Oh, that's another fear card. That might not be great. There's something nice about the steadiness of being able to do, of like knowing you're going to get through 5 fear for the next turn, but that's fine. We are making good headway in the fear deck for sure. But on the effect, there is none event card. What do we have? Now, 1 fear, 1 fear. I almost said fear it. I don't know what fear it is. 1 fear per spirit that has at least 1 sacred site. That is me. After advancing beta cards, add an explorer to each land with a sacred site. Well, that's awesome. That's stage 1. Hold on, we're in stage 2. After advancing an invader cards, invaders build in 1 terrain not shown under any invader action. That's great, because one thing I always say about England is that they just don't build enough, and I'm glad we're going to rectify that here. They just need to build more. Oh, that's super awesome. Each beast deals 2 damage. That's my beast doing damage. That's the sound they make. And then on each board, add a Dahan to a Mountain Earth Sands with Dahan. And we'll add it here. Because why not? So we'll have Infinite Vitality back in our hand next turn. It's going to be... Oh, I'm not going to be able to afford to play it next turn. So that's a thing. That is a thing. And alas, that was fairly useless. And just makes us build more, which makes me happy. Flee the Pestilent Land. Each player removes up to 3 health of invaders from a land with disease. I'll remove a town from here, because why not? That is not destroyed, it is just removed. That's fine. Don't often hit that one hard, so it's good to get something out of it. And then spreading timidity, each player chooses a different land to isolate, defend 2 in those lands. Is that useful? Sure, I will isolate this land and prevent that build. And actually do it with this. Defending 2 there. Building, nothing to build there. We're getting a city here. Ravaging, nothing, not participating. Blight, destroy a presence. I could destroy my Incarnate instead if I so chose. I would not like to do that. Building, we're getting a town here. Disease comes off here. Exploring, building the most. That is still wetlands. We're getting a city there. And then we're exploring 1, 2. We are advancing the invader cards, and then we're going to build in a land in a terrain not shown. So we have to build in either jungles or sands. We'll build in sands because sands. Done. I am going to continue to pound on land 1 because I think it makes sense. So I am doing 4 damage there, pushing it to hunt. So 4 damage becomes 5 damage. So I'm going to kill this city. Should I just kill a bunch of towns? Wolf. Maybe that makes more sense. No, I really want to kill cities. How much damage can I get? This has to go into against the non-wetlands. So that's a thing. Maybe. Gotta do that. Maybe I do Behemoth Rises. Wipe those guys out, but I'm gonna have all my cards back and 3 energy, so I can make them not participate. I'm essentially doing 4. I'm doing 10 damage, which is an awkward amount of damage against England. And then the Coastal Lands build card is going to pretty much add any cities back that I destroy here. So I think the smart thing is we're going to do 3 towns and an explorer. So that's 2 fear for 1 tier for each town, plus 2 fear off the top because I doubled up on Smash Stomp, blah blah blah. So that's 5 fear card, and then I could move Stompy McStomperson. I'll move it into. I could move it anywhere. Two fear, 1 damage. Like anywhere but a wetland. I can move it anywhere I have a sacred site, is what I meant. Or I can just go adjacent. I'll push here. Prevent. Oh, man, I just don't have the presence there. That's a problem. It's gonna double build there next turn. England. Fine. I won't move that at all, actually. We're just gonna do 2 fear and do 1 damage here because I have presence there and just kill this explorer. I think we're beyond the point of trying to get rid of adjacencies here and just like, let's just blitz fear and prevent and just hope we don't auto lose. Yeah, I don't think I had enough control of the board ever. I mean, we're 13 fear from terror level 3. Should be able to avoid 7 in any one land. I have enough cards where I can prevent invaders from ravaging, so is what it is. Aiden, could you pick the isolated land and not build? Could I pick the isolated land and not build? I could have picked. I picked Sands. That's exactly what I did. I picked Sands. If you're talking about for the event, I picked the terrain not shown under any invader action, and we did a build there. Build in 1 terrain. So I did a build action there, and since they were not there, I didn't build. Now I know for certain things it will tell you, like if you don't pay attention to adjacencies and normal rules, but like it usually says on the card if that's a thing. So yeah, I picked sands. So it wasn't just it was a terrain. It was a terrain type. So I had a build in both sands. It wasn't just building it in one sands. Now I know I might have to build there anyway in some events, but it usually says it on the event. There's like some weird like edge case rule. Yes. So there was an isolated sand, which is why I didn't build there, but I had a build on this sand. Right, because I had a build in both sands. I had a build in a terrain type, so I had to choose sands, and I had a build in both sands. All right, we got there. So we're gonna do a growth option. I'm reclaiming my cards. I appreciate the lookout for sure. I'm gonna gain a power card. I'm gonna gain a minor. Heavy defend would be nice. That's interesting. Destroy a town. I like destroying towns. Well, if I have 3 earth, I just blast the town out of the sky. Sure, steam vents make some sense. That actually would be really good. Destroy a town, you ignore the extra health. This isn't like the durable mechanic. So steam vents. That is range 0 though. Woof. I'm gonna only have 3 health, 3 energy from this. You're always using this twice and not stomping is just like bananas. Maybe I'm not using that this turn. All right. Only have 2 health to 3 energy. I can get 5 energy next turn. I think we're gonna have to do that, so I can get 4 energy next turn, which would be fine. So discard a card with a fire. I have plenty to choose from. And then I can play 2 cards and gain a power card. So this will also let me remove a blight, which can be super helpful. Don't have any 0 cost cards. So if I push 2 don't participate, oh, if I'm playing 3 cards, I only have 3 energy. It's going to have to be this 3. What does that do for me? Oh, that could be interesting. Sure, let's try it. Might go disastrous, but we'll figure it out. 1, 2. Remember, we have a couple of fear cards. We'll have at least one. Element check 1, 2, 3, 4 fire. 1, 2, 3 earth. That does give me the kicker here. And 1 plant. 1 plant. That does give me the 3rd level here. How much do I want to gamble? A lot. I want to gamble a lot. Maybe not that much. Because I would have no other presence. Oh, I can pretend that my Incarna is not a presence for the purpose when I add a blight, right? So I don't actually have to destroy my Incarna. But I could choose it to be a presence if I want to destroy my Incarna, just save the presence that is there. So I could actually move this in without risk. So I actually would have moved that in last turn had I remembered that rule. Because that's one of the reasons I was like hedging. So basically, Incarna is like super flexible. So if it ravages there and a strike and a blight goes there, I can still keep my Incarna there, which I do think is an interesting like tension thematically because like they're now incarnate, right? So they should be able to be damaged, and now but you can choose not to have them damaged, which I find super interesting. And as I say things, I'm just going to dump all of the Han out because they are also really upset by the thematic dissonance there. They really wanted to make themselves known. All right, go back where you belong. Thank you. And that way I still have the Behemoth Rises, because it would not have been any real reason not to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate. I'm just going to destroy a town. Again, I don't care about the extra health. 1 fear. That's done. Thank you, Steam Vents. I'm just worried if I get a fear card or a bet that gives me plus defense. Like, this is going to be silly, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get another fear. Play it safe. These 2 invaders don't participate. And then we have everything else. Goddess is Alden. That's good. Gnome Child, how hard do you find Spirit Island to win compared to Maid's Night? I've never wanted to give Spirit Island, but I have with Maid's Night, even though I think Maid's Night is more complex. I don't know what's wrong with me. Totally different games, of course, but still. I think Spirit Island, Maid's Night's... Yeah, it's hard to say, because at Maid's Night, you're usually talking solo conquest, right? Spirit Island, it's like, well, what level you were playing at? I mean, Maze Knight, if you play in the 5-8 difficulty level, that's like really hard until you learn the game. I think if you're playing at the recommended level 0 for Spirit Island, like, you should be able to win 95% of games. If you're beating Maze Knight, you might just have a rule that you're not understanding. But and then at that point, it's like, all right, learning how to win with each spirit, learning how to win against each adversary. The combinations, I mean, there's literally infinite combinations. I mean, not literally infinite, but like, you could play. I'm sure it's some mathematician could work out all the permutations of this game, and I'm sure like you could play 1 a second for the 100 years and you still haven't finished them all. It's probably one of those astronomical things. So you have 37 spirits. You have 7 adversaries. Each adversary has 6 levels. You can combine the adversaries different ways. You have 17 aspect cards. I think those are just the new ones. I think overall you have like 30 aspect cards. You have like a ton of scenarios. So there's just so many ways that it can come together. But I think it's ultimately taking a low complexity spirit, really learning it, going against Prussia, which has very low rules overhead, and then once it starts to click for you, like, you'll be able to figure out the game and definitely log more than 0 wins for sure. Eric Van Ness, I pick Stompy when I don't want to think hard and still dominate. Yeah, I pick Kiefer when I don't want to think hard and still dominate. Yeah, I love that. That's a great. Both of you speak the truth, kids. That's great. Uh, uh, na, 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 na. All right. Well, crap. Let's see what happens, kids. So we're going to did not get that fear. Why? All right. Blighted Island effect. There is none. Event card. Here we go. So we're going Blighted this turn. We'll see what happens. Stages 1 and 2. We are in stage 3. Choose a land with cities and towns. Add a blight there. Without cascading, players may destroy 2 Dahan or presence in that line to prevent adding blight. Hey. Sorry, Dahan. We're getting rid of you. I mean, these guys can't participate. Oh, I have to push 2 Dahan. That was a mandated thing, so I'll push them here. Yeah, I'll destroy 2 Dahan and land 4. All right, Explorer's Blunder on each board. Destroy up to 2 explorers in lands with beasts, and then in each land with 3 or more Dahan. Defend. Oh, 2 damage and defend 2. That changed my calculus. No, not really. Because if I had 3 Dahan there, I'm not, again, the math, England 6 changes the math. Well, England 5 changes the math. That is 2 damage is not everything you hope it to be. So that's just not a thing, and I keep using the wrong color reminder. Stop it! You are Ember Eyed, not teal or aquamarine or turquoise eyed, whatever the heck that is. All right, that goes away. 1 fear card. Fear of the unseen. Each player removes an explorer or a town from a land with presence. Oh, I could have done it there. Stupid. Nah. But then I would have just blight cascaded there, so that's fine. I will remove. Yeah, it doesn't. Do not think it matters. Building in coastal lands. Building in wetlands. That's going to double build there no matter what I do. It's going to double build there no matter what I do. I have presence here. I'll remove that. So had I made those two, like 2 of them not, well, I would have probably done the town that I had to remove the explorer. So yeah, it worked out better this way. All right, building in coastal lands, high immigration tiles only triggering once. So we're getting a town. We're getting a town. We're getting a town. We're ravaging. They're not participating. We're blighting here, and then we're going to have to cascade. So we're going to do the blight first. I'm choosing my incarnate not to be destroyed. Shocking. Memory fades to dust. I kid you not. Since this deck has gotten this big with Nature Incarnate, I have pulled the OGs so many times. So memory fades to dust. One of the originals at the start of each invader phase. Each spirit forgets a power or destroys one of their presence. Goes here, and I'll put a reminder token on the event deck. All right, we have to cascade a blight, so we have 3 left on the card. Ravage step is done. We're building. We're getting a city here. We're getting a town here. Exploring. Terror level 3, or stage 3. So no more escalation. Sands. That could have been a better thing. And wetlands. And now the race is on. We are just trying to generate fear. I need 11, 31 fear. Count with me now. Vader cards advance. I am I think I have to wipe out those wetlands again. I'm gonna do behemoth things. So that's done. And then I'm doing 4 + 4 + 1 + 1 is 10. I'm doing 10 damage there. I'm gonna kill this town, these 2 towns and this city. That's 2 fear off the top plus 4 fear, so 6 fear. So that's 1, that's another, so that's 2 fear cards. We're down to 25 left. That's done. And then I can do 1 damage in a land where I have presence. And I get 2 more fear, so we're down to 23 fear. I'll just do 1 damage. But it can't be a wetlands. I would have just killed an explorer there before I left. The joys. Alright, time passes. This comes here. I'm going to do growth option 3. I'm going to go from the top track. But before I do that, I'm going to gain a major. Definitely dropping a card. Paralyzing Fright. Tigers Hunting. Strangling Firevines. And Vengeance of the Dead. What a shitty card draw that was. Woof. That is horrendous. Wow. Just an absolutely horrendous card pull. I okay. I love it. It's exactly what I was hoping for. How did they know? They know so many things. Wolf. I don't even want to drop one of these cards. I have to discard one of these cards. Yikes. Not even sure Blazing Intimidation helps me. I'm getting 3 energy. Let me figure this out. I get 3 energy. I'm going to get 4 energy from here. So I have 7 energy to play. Tiger's Hunting is cheap. And I can't get that kicker. There's no way. There's no way. I would need 8 energy for that. Damage per. That's one way to do 4 damage. Slow. Getting a major here is probably dumb. Now that I look at the math in my hand. Whoops. Whoopsie. Yeah, I probably should have gained a minor. Definitely should have gained a minor. But I think we can do something with this. Hit a beast, gather a beast, 1 damage per beast, push up to 2 beasts. Sure, why not? Alright, we'll take Tiger's Hunting. Not because it's great, but because I've left myself in a place with no energy. We're going to dump Drywood Explodes and Smoldering Splinters. And we're going to discard Blazing Intimidation. Playing all my energy on these 4 cards. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do an element check. We have. I don't have the 2 Sons of 2 Moons for that, so that's not even a thing. I have. I'm going to get this presence off. I can put it range 1. I discarded the card with the fire. I'll put this presence here. I mean, it doesn't. I don't even think we're gonna have to worry about that by the end of the game. I'll put it in 5. I did not smash my elements, but I need Infinite Vitality, and I like the fear that's being generated there. So it is what it is. We're gonna do 1, 2 fire, 1, 2, 3 earth. Oh, so close to that. And 1, 2. Yeah, I definitely should have gained a minor. I didn't take stock of my energy situation before I made that ill-advised decision. So we only have level 1 of Smash, Stomp, and Flatten. But I can still do it twice. So that's still bananas. Alright, I'm going to target level land 3. I'm going to generate 2 fear off the top. I'm going to add a beast. I'm going to gather a beast. 1 damage per beast. That's 2 damage. That's terrible. I really should have gained a minor. I could blight there, and it's still not a big deal. I was dumb. I should have gained a minor. I'll do this here, and at least I'll be able to do 2, 3 damage, and that's a fear. It's a 3rd fear card. That's probably more important, and they're all Terra level 3 now. And then Infinite Vitality, I'm going to prevent a Blight from being added to 1. We're just playing the fear game now. So I still have Behemoth Rises, and I still have Smash Stomp and awesomeness. I have to forget a power or destroy a presence. I'll destroy a presence. And then we are going to get the event. Blighted Island. In lands with towns and cities, it only takes 1 damage to add a blight. Push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with a beast. We have to do it. I'll push this town into 1 because, oh, that's ravaging again next turn. Woof. I'll push this into 5. With the invaders ravage, if the land has the Han, defend 2. That's not going to matter. 3 fear cards. I mean, it could matter, so just in case. Fear card 1, Terror level 3. Each player was an explorer or a town from any land because emigration accelerates. Am I trying to prevent the blight? Sure, we'll remove that. Yeah, it's building anywhere else. That's fine. Next. Every Badlands, so beset by many troubles. Every Badlands, Beast, Disease, Wilds, and Strife grants defend 3 in its land and in adjacent lands. That's amazing. So we were defended 7 billion there. So don't have to worry about that blight. Actually, wouldn't have to worry about that blight either. Defend 3 in all lands because demoralized. So we're defended everywhere. We are building. We're building a city here. We're building a town here. We are ravaging. I'm defended 7 billion. Remember, I did the math for y'all. Ravage is done. We are building. We're building a city here. Building a town here. Those are the sands. And then the wetlands, we're building a town here. And building a town here. This can come off. This can come off. So infinite vitality was not necessary. We are exploring. Exploring mountains. So 1, 2. Jungles. 1, 2. Invader cards advance. We are 20 fear away, kids. We went through 11 fear in the last round. I would like to... that's going to build and... that's stupid. I am going to do 2 damage here, which kills this town. That's a fear. Since my presence is there, I'm going to add a Badlands. Then I'm going to do Smash, Stop, and Flatten. I'm going to do 2 damage. It becomes 4 damage because there's 2 Badlands there. It's a totally different action, so that kills the city. That's 2 fear. Then I'm going to do Behemoth Rises to move here because I'm pushing. And then I'm going to do 2 damage here, which becomes 3 damage because of the Badlands. That's a fear. So we're 16 fear away. So even with just 2 damage and a simple push, because of the Badlands we've been able to put out all over the place, that became a pretty effective amount of damage. Just wish we didn't waste Infinite Vitality because we could have really used it next turn. True that. I'm probably just cheating accidentally. Maybe it's not getting off easy that way. Eric says, terrible draw. Maybe I got paralyzed. I could try to threshold it next turn for fear. Don't forget to place presence. Maybe do tigers in the jungle to kill a town. Yeah. England seems like a fear game all the time. Yeah, every once in a while. I mean, the one time I played the dances before I streamed that, I got a Terra level 2 victory. It was bananas. It was just absolutely broken. But then I streamed and not so much. All right, reclaiming my cards. I have 4 whopping energy. I'm gonna gain a minor because I learned my lesson. Learn your lesson. Stop playing bad. Never. No fire. Defend 4. I like defend 4. Woof. 2 blight to go with. We're ravaging in a bunch of land, so I can go 1 blight there. I could stop a blight there. Yeah, I think at this point we're just trying to defend enough that I can still pull off this fear victory with the 16 fear I need left. We have 3 card plays. Infinite Vitality is super awesome. I might be able to remove a blight too, because if I do drift down at the slumber and destroy a town in a land where I have presence. Destroy a town in a land with presence. But 2 don't participate. Push 3 to Hun. Now I'll just play this. It's fine. It's fine, people. It's fine. Don't be concerned. So 1, 3. That's all my energy. It's a trend. I'm very broke. All right, 1. Again, I only have 2 of those, but I have 4 of these, which makes me happy. And I have 2 of these. So again, I'm only at the 2nd level of this, or 1st level of this. And I still have Behemoth Rises. I'm going to prevent. All right, we're doing drift down to the slumber here. We're defending 4. Just is a reasonable amount of defense. I'm going to do 1 fear off the top. Oh, they're building. Shoot. If I take. It's building, ravaging, building. All right, so that's going to be a blight. That's going to be a blight. That has to defend a sands or a jungle. I could do this instead. Yeah, that's a better card. And it costs the same. So we'll defend 6 here. I don't need the defense there. I defend 6 as I have the things. It still gives me the mountain I need. I'm going to prevent. We're going to infinite vitality 4. Infinite vitality is like so nice against England, which lets me remove this, put it back on the card. And that's probably a useless card. Do I have a town in a land where I have presence? No. But I could do this. Sure. We're going to actually add this card instead. I'm going to do Behemoth Prizes now, so I do not have this available to me later, but I'm going to push this in here. And since I have the kicker on that, I'm just going to destroy this town, which gives me a fear. And that's important because now I have a fear card, so I don't have to worry about the double build on the high immigration tile. See, I always have a plan. Kind of, sort of, maybe, sometimes. All right. Somewhere in that is your truth. We are going to destroy a presence or forget a power card. I will destroy a prey. Yeah. I don't want to destroy my presence. I like it. I don't need this element. I'm probably not using that defense 6 again. So I'll just forget a power card because this game needs to end in 2 turns anyway. We're going to... And I lose the elements from that, but I still have what I need for the first level of Stomp, Smash, and Flatten. We're going to go to the event. Blighted Island, of course. Add a Blight to a land with Blight, but do not Cascade. You may prevent this on any old boards by destroying 1 presence per board to be protected. I will destroy this presence. Huzzah. We are going to do the... ignore disease during builds. Phase +1 fear for board with per board with disease. We are none. When invaders ravage, if the land has a Dahan, defend 2. That's nice. Fear card. Each player may downgrade a city or a town in a coastal land. I will downgrade this city. Well, it's not going to matter. Yeah, it's literally not going to matter. I guess this will matter. I'll turn this town into an explorer. We are doing the invader seps. So high immigration tiles only triggering once. We have 15 fear left. We're doing a town here. A town here. We're ravaging. We're blighting here. Presence is destroyed. Infinite vitality here. Dahan is still dead though. It has 6 extra health. Oh, we have the kicker. So it cannot be destroyed. And it will still retaliate. It will wipe out these 2 explorers because it can't do anything else. Yeah, we had... Oh, that's what we need, that element. Nope. At the time we played that, we had the right element, so we're good. We are good. Could we set like the trap and then it's in play? And that was a rule. I made a mistake in the darkness game, I think, where I did that a little bit wrong. So check the comments. I think it was from Daniel who pointed that out. So this guy is dead because gets retaliated against, and this is defended 6, so we're fine there. So rapid step is done. Build step. We're getting a town, city. We're getting a town, explore step, mountains and jungle and wetlands. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Vader cards advance. Slow powers. I essentially can just do 4 damage here, which is enough to wipe out a city and get 2 fear. So I repeated the power, 2 damage. Both times I could not move my Incarnate again because I already moved it in the first place to get that town off the board. So I had the fear card, the fear card, so I didn't have to worry about double build and high immigration. We are going to do this. So I'm going to have a total of 8 energy this turn. And I am going to get another major and hope for something better than I had last time. And I know that this presence can go on the board somewhere. We'll figure out where in a second. Fire, 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 fire. Nope, no fire. Alrighty then. We can move a beast. For each beast present, shoots different. Sleep and never waken. We could skip invaders. Oh, I have no presence in the land, but I can add a presence in the land. Skip all action to target land. 1 fear per 2 explorers just removes. That could be good. Do I have the kicker? Assuming that this is here. Yeah, because I just killed that city. That makes sense. Well, I have 3, 2, 3. I don't have a second heir, which sucks. Move it to 3 and 3 health with invaders. It's not as good. Beast. Move 1 beast. Move up to 2 beasts within 3 to target land. For each beast present, choose a different invader. 1 damage to each of the invaders. Push 1 per beast. Repeat this power on a different land if I have 2. Again, I only have 1 heir. It could combo well with Tiger's Hunting. I think skipping actions makes the most sense, though. I'm not really at risk of auto losing. Definitely want to trigger this at a higher level, though. So not getting a fire kind of sucked. Remember, I have to discard a card with a fire, so that's... But I got a fire from the board, so that helps a lot. A lot. How much? A lot. It's a lot. It's like a lot with a more, and then a lot on top with some a lot. And I need to forget a power, too. I do need to forget a power. I will... Do I forget Tiger's Hunting? God, I wish I had that kicker. It's so pretty. It's a pretty kicker. Yeah, I have to get to the 4-2-1. So I'm essentially looking at that. I'm essentially locked into those 2 cards. And in Sleep and Never Waken probably makes some sense after that. So I will discard this and forget Tiger's Hunting. So it's just really another miss. Another miss on my that's a way to get fear fast. Maybe I don't lose this. I'll just get rid of steam vents. Alright, steam vents is forgotten. And then this is in my hand. these go back to here. Not the greatest major power card draws I've ever seen. Not gonna lie. 3. Need some change. So I will have 2 power going to next turn, plus the 5. So I'll have 7 power next turn, which is super nice. I'm going to add this presence somewhere. I'm going to add this presence in this sands. Where am I skipping? Great. So I'm going to target land 5. Nope. Targeting land 8. Invaders are skipping all actions in 8. I can remove up to 2 explorers. Since I remove 2 explorers, I generate 1 fear. All actions in 8. Not happening. I'm looking at potential 3 blight. God, that was a bad draw. Should be all right. All right. I'm going to target Blazing Intimidation. I'm going to target land 6. I generate 1 fear at the top. I'm pushing these to a land without my Incarna. That's fine. And then this, I get 1 fear at the top. And I'm going to say that these 2 invaders don't participate. And I could push 3 to Han. I will push them here, which might be a bad mission for them, but maybe I'll get lucky with the events. All right. We are going to, that's a fear card. We are 10 fear away. I'm going to do my element check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 fire. We have 1, 2 earth. Well, 3 earth actually. And 1, 2 plant. Just short of that. And then when you're doing that twice, I mean, think about how bad my card draws have been. Like I have 8 major powers in a row, not a single fire. It's just been bad. But like I'm still doing 8 damage with my innate every turn. It's like really kind of stupid. All right. I'm still gonna find out when to lose this. Should probably stop talking. Forget a power or destroy a presence. Surging Lahar, you've kind of run your course. Blighted Island, of course, on each board. With a city, add a blight to a land with a city. I can prevent this by destroying 2 presents. That's why I've been pretty aggressively just losing power cards, because like I just don't want to. Once you're blighted, you get a run of these freaking cards. I'll destroy these 2 presents. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Add a beast to a board without 1. So this explorer is dead. These 2 guys aren't participating. That's all that does. And then each board added the Han to a jungle or a wetland with the Han. The only option I have is there. That's carried out. My 1 fear card. In each scapegoats in each land with cities and towns, just destroy a bunch of explorers. Oof. All right, hold on. In each land with cities and towns, destroy all explorers. So these guys are out. 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 All right, so those explore. I didn't think that. I don't think I had a single land with just explorers, so that was effective. And then destroy 1 town per city. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now those guys aren't affected in ravage actions, but otherwise they are definitely fair game. No cities, and then 2 cities here. So that just destroyed 6 cities. So that's 6 fear. Remainder 1. Another fear card we do immediately. We have oversea trade suffers, defend 9 in all coastal lands, skip all build actions in coastal lands. So coastal land builds are skipped, and we're defended 9. So not participating, defended 9 anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, build actions, skip all build actions in coastal lands. So this is a build action. We skip that. So high immigration build. We're building here. We're building here. High immigration build is done. We're skipping, or we're defended 9. I don't know. Who cares? Nothing to ravage here. We're adding a blight here. I'll pretend my. Oh, that also destroys these 2 Dahan. That's unfortunate. I was hoping for like a defend per Dahan or something. It didn't happening. It just didn't happen. Is what I was trying to say there. We're skipping actions here thanks to Sleep and Never Waken. Ravage step is done. Build step. We're getting a city here. We're skipping that build. Building in wetlands. We don't build in coastal lands. So that's done. Explore step. Exploring sands and mountains. 1, 2. We're skipping the explore step thanks to Sleep and Never Waken, but we do get an explorer there. Invader cards advance. We're 4 fear away from victory here. So I will do 1, 2, 3, 4 damage here. That's 3 fear, including the fear off the top. I haven't done the Behemoth Rises yet. So that's going to happen. I'm going to go here. We're going to do 4 damage here. I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I could do 5 damage there. Doesn't really matter. I'm just belaboring this for no point. But I'll go. Let me clear out land too. Why not? So 4 damage there becomes 5 because of the Badlands. So that's another 3 fear. So remainder 2. Mister, you win! Yay! We win! We play really bad as Behemoth and we win. It's super fun. Woof. That is bananas. How do you blame the explorers for Stompy? I blame the game designers for Stompy. Like, it's so funny. Like, I'm so lazy with him. Like, I feel myself as I'm playing, like, this is really easy. Why? And, like, I just don't think. And then I get myself trapped because I just wasn't, like, being careful enough. Like, I think that maybe that's the point of Stompy, is to teach yourself the discipline of make good decisions even when you have an overwhelming force. I don't know. Yeah, he's too strong. Like, I played that game really poorly. I made bad decisions. I took a major when I should have taken a minor. I I stopped paying attention to adjacencies the way I should have. It's not a good spirit. It's a fun spirit, I guess. I don't know. So maybe in that sense it's good. It's just not consistent with the fabric of the game. Eric Van Ness says indeed. it's there's something wrong with it in my mind. But that is not the case with all of them. Again, I really do like Darkness. I'm just doing these in alphabetical order because I don't, less thinking. So we are coming back with Hearth Vigil. Speaking of broken spirits, Hearth Vigil is next, kids. And after that will be Gaze. Gaze I'm very intrigued by. I played Gaze once and I played it very poorly. and it dawned on me, like, I'm trying to, like, figure this out. I played it once, didn't study it again. I'm like, like, something's not clicking, and I was like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so a gaze, I'm intrigued to explore more. I think I'll end up liking gaze. I really like Wounded Waters. I really like Darkness. I forget, and then Delirium reminds me of like another iteration of Trickster, just because of all the strife that they use. So that could be a fun one. But we'll see. I mean, at this point, I'm hoping that some of the feedback that we're getting with these spirits, I'm hoping that this is the end of the Pantheon. I know there's going to be the Dahan themed expansion. I am very, 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 very intrigued by that. Oh, Towering Roots. Towering Roots is fun. I don't think I've played Towering Roots. I think I've played a game with Tony when he was Towering Roots. He's at the Vitality tokens. I have seen Towering Roots played while I was figuring out someone else. I'm intrigued. Yeah, you finally get the Vitality tokens in there. Incredibly good at protecting everything. Of course it is. Of course it is, people. But we'll see. I think for me, I'm going to go through these 8, choose solo. Then I'm going to probably do two-handed with all the aspects for a minute, and then we'll kind of see where I go with this on the channel. Good games, says George. Awesome, thank you, sir. I appreciate the lookout before. Many ways to play him. That's good to hear. This is one of my minor gripes, even about Jagged Earth, is I felt like a lot of the spirits were, there was kind of one right way to go with them. Defense. Yeah, I mean, if Towering Roots is like a more layered version of Eyes Watch from the Trees, that would very much intrigue me, because I find that spirit very not fun. I understand it's created for beginner players, and I get that, but if Towering Roots kind of does some of what Eyes Watch without being just so overwhelmingly strong, and actually gives you a lot more decisions that you actually have to make, that would be super interesting to me. So I will have to check them out for sure. But I just, if you take the 8 of them and you compare them to Volcano and Vengeance and Fractured Days and Starlight and Earth and like, was there, I mean, in Trickster, I mean, was there a miss in Jagged Earth? I just don't know, right? And it's made a little more pronounced, and I'm going to try not to give the speech every time I come back to Nature Incarnate, but it's I mean, with Downpour, like, come on, man, like, these spirits they're just good. I mean, the only one I don't like is Finder, but I understand why people love them, right? It's just not how I like to play the game. But like, you know, the where the average player of this game is so much better now than they were when Nature Incarnate, when Jagged Earth came out. They're so much better now. So you gave us just a much worse, like, collection of spirits, that worse because they're too strong, and you gave them to a player pool that's much more advanced. Um, there's just something really messed up with that. Like, not messed up, like, it's something unfortunate about that. There was an opportunity here that just wasn't realized. And I don't know, it's hard to put out 13 spirits. I mean, essentially, there are 13 spirits designed in a very, very short time, when you count the 5 for Horizons. And I just think there was a miss, and I don't know, whether that was the playtesters, or if Eric Royce had a very specific reason why he was giving us more overpowered spirits. But you have a player pool that's like already combining level 6 adversaries with other level 6 adversaries with the spirits that existed. You know, giving us ones more suited to those tasks isn't going to really solve the problem or scratch an itch. But it is what it is. I will. I'll explore them all to some level, and then kind of probably in the end of the day start gravitating back to shadows and trickster and fangs and the ones that I really like. Steve, can't wait to see Thunder Speaker and Ocean Aspects. Yeah, I'm intrigued enough. I don't love that the aspects exist, but that's just me. Um, and if you're gonna give me an aspect, give me like one. I don't need five. At that point, you're just the average person is gonna play them all once, and it's just a lot of content for with no real lasting payoff. And all the aspects basically add a ton more spirits, albeit a twist on the original. Yeah, they do and they don't. I don't know. I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I look back at all the aspects that already came out, and the shadows I understand why I got four aspects, but I still prefer base shadows over any of them. Um, yeah, none of the aspects from the original game none of the original aspects do enough that I'm like I prefer to have the extra upkeep of going through the deck of aspects and getting the right one. And I'd rather just play shadows, and play river and play strength. I mean, even vital strength I find, but if I'm playing with newer players, I kind of like being a weak spirit like strength over playing like a level 3 adversary or something like that. So many aspects have Incarna, yeah. I think what Thunder Speaker has Incarna. Who else they give Incarna to? Yeah, I definitely knew that, which I think, look, it's interesting. It's fine. I don't know. I mean, Incarna, like, I'm surprised Incarna doesn't replace one of your presents from the board because it essentially gives you a 14th presence for a game that's really balanced around 13. So that was an interesting design decision. Where you just have that much. You have this thing which can double or sometimes even triple as other things, and then you're giving us more range and more presence, and it's a presence that you can choose not to destroy. I think that's like a really weird decision with the Incarna for me, like again thematically and mechanically, that I think is just a little bit like, so I could have presence in the land, and then even when the invaders ravage I could be like, haha, not really here, and like why, so like that misses for me. um yeah, there's just things about Nature Incarnate that I just aren't clicking for me, and it's again it's a me problem, right? Like it's how I learned the game, how I like the game, but I just don't play Nature Incarnate stuff other than I really like Darkness, notwithstanding the Incarnate minor grip I have. I really like, the mining colony. I mean, there are things I like, as I keep saying, but more often than not, I'm just like, these spirits are not, things that I've been really glad to explore. Just been like, what? This is dumb. And it is what it is. And I'm sure every spirit, look, this is the spirit I've been waiting for. And if that's for you, man, like it's great. I really like the art on this one. Like this is my kind of thing. Like this is this. I want to love the spirit just by looking at him, and I'm mildly upset that I feel like I'm never going to take him out of the box and choose to play as him because I just find it so cheesed. Um, if you want to give me an aspect to make him harder, I'll take that. That would be great. But it's like, why? I mean, it's like that many minds feeling where I'm like, this is really simple and not interesting. It's like, oh, it does everything. Oh, and it generates 7,000 fear. Great. Um, what a spirit. Lore, it is a lot. Oh, lore gets an aspect? That's funny. Like that's what he needed, right? That's exactly what lore needed, was something to make him stronger. But of course, I'll take the aspect and I'll go against Rusher 6 so I can get my just so I can get embarrassed again because it was still hilarious. Uh, I've talked about doing that matchup again, but I think I'm just gonna let it sit out there for in perpetuity. Me getting destroyed by Russia 6. I still think I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure that was the only strength versus strength matchup I lost. It was funny, and that was the one that I was like, the strength there was like, wow, like lore is a hard counter to everything Russia does. Ugh, so funny. The other one was like, what was like Ocean Scotland? I think it was Ocean Scotland. I think I did Thunderspeaker England, and trying to think some of the other matchups. I did Trickster Sweden, um, Stone Habsburg. So that was a fun series, man. Oh, the good old days when I had time to do this as much as I wanted to. But that was that. I will be back this week. I'm really hopefully I'm really trying to again get through some of these boxes that have been sitting for a minute. Um, I don't have any review copies. Oh, I do. I just got a review copy of Wormspan, so I'll I'll get that on the channel pretty soon. I was gonna stream yesterday, and then I got sidetracked with things that don't exist in Too Many Bones, because I finally I gave up on my quest to get them to send me a review copy of Automatana Shale and Riffle, and because I'm just not streaming enough to even have an argument anymore. So it's just like whatever. They sent me 20 strong. I'm mildly appeased by it, and we're just gonna move on. So I did buy that. So again, there were some things that don't exist that took a bit of my time yesterday. So happy to report that we got through that, and now we're on to the next thing. So, and Saget still owes me a quite vigorous conversation about the Maze Knight expansion. So we will get to that. I am intrigued about getting Maze Knight back on the channel. It'd probably be the right time to do it, right? I'm so stubborn. I'm like, oh, everyone's talking about Maze Knight now. I'll do something. It's not the way to run a channel, I will tell you that. Do not follow my lead on these things if you want your maximally successful channel out there. And if you're an aspiring YouTuber and you're watching me for tips, you probably should also go somewhere else for that. But Stompy McStomperson, you are adorable. Alas, I don't think this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship, but I respect you, and I respect your right to exist. That is all. So with that said, I will sign off here. Thanks for Eric and Steve and George and Gnome Chad and everyone else who stopped in. I'm sure, as always, somebody will pop in a couple of days and let me know of the rules mistake that I made that changed everything. But at least I did not lose in the middle of my stream in a matchup that I would have had no business losing. And I'll figure out who I'm going to take Hearthchild against. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do Russia 6. Hearth Vigil. Why did I say Hearthchild? Whoops. Hearth Vigil again. Maybe I'll just do Russia 6 just because when am I ever going to get them on the channel otherwise? So that could be fun and mathy and annoying, but we can make all of that happen. So this was an amazing time as always. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.